You are now listening to the Ja and Fa Show. Ja and Fa Show. Now listening. You are now listening to the Ja and Fa Show.
Dude, we were going for a while.
That was like 20 minutes in.
Oh, okay. I actually thought it was more.
All right, let's do it. I'm sorry, man.
All right, so well, how do you want to do this real quick? Do you just want to like fly by the stuff we already said, or like just kind of do it at the same pace?
Let's just re-roll. I mean, like we'll roll with it. If
right.
we say the things we've already said, I mean.
So you the video from 420. I heard you talking about it.
Oh, you sent me
Dude.
the video?
Yeah.
Good. You going now? Okay.
No, I just want to say
Dude, it's okay.
I can't believe that. Oh my God.
Hey.
It happens, Malv.
It happens. I mean, hey, we're going to have issues. So let's just start from the top. We'll just kind of go through our coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee real quick. I'll tell you about 420. Tell you about that stuff. We'll pretend we never heard it before. And
I still have more things to talk about, so we'll be fine.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we are. Episode number 4. Keith,
Yes.
how's your coffee? Oh, wait. My skin's crawling. I just called you Keith. I did it again. Fa. How's the coffee?
Coffee's good. I actually just finished it. I got some
Wow.
Wawa. I just got some Wawa coffee today. Did the classic. Got the regular coffee with French vanilla creamer. Super good. It was actually my first time having a Wawa coffee in a couple months. It's been a minute. I also wanted to point out the lid, the white lid.
I gotta say the elephant in the room. I forgot to hit record, and this is the second time we're doing this. God damn it.
So we're just going to kind of go through what we've already talked about for the last 20 minutes. So we're going to be going back in time. That's, you know what? Title this Going Back in Time. That's what this podcast will be called.
We gotta say it off the bat.
No,
instead of like hiding it.
Well, I was going to say it, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know what it was. So I was
Just
like,
watching you meander through that coffee.
I'm sweating.
Dude, that was great. This is even better. I actually now am happy that I fucked it up.
It is
Dude,
so
the craziest part is real quick. The craziest part is fucking. I hate to admit this, but that was the second time this week I fucking done this. How is this 2 in a row?
Dude,
I'm
it's
so good
tough.
at just hitting it right off the bat. I don't know.
I know.
I think I've been not hitting it because I think once I hit record, it might. I don't know if it takes 40 minutes. Oh no, I don't know.
Damn. No, I mean it happens, man. I mean, you're just such a responsible guy. I never even think twice to like double check you or anything.
No, I appreciate that, and I'm usually so good at just hitting that stupid button. But now it's hitting. It's being recorded now. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Coffee's in our stomach. I have more energy than I did 25 minutes ago. To be honest,
I feel great. So anyway, let's just go through what we went through. So my coffee's done. This is finished.
Watching you hold it up and hearing it the end.
Me just throwing it around. But anyway, what we were talking about before was anyone who goes to Wawa, if you went, just a year or 2 ago, they've always had black lids, brown cups. But recently, they've done this like little rebranding where it's like red cup with a white lid. And, me and Tabor, agree on this. It just looks very Christmassy, and the brown and black was just so much cleaner. And, it used to be like a treat to get a white lid because they would only come around like Christmas and other times. But now it's just every time, and they kind of lost their spunk. And the red and white's just not doing it for me, which is funny because red, like pink and red, are my favorite colors. But when it comes to Wawa, man, I just think the black and brown is just too clean. It just makes so much sense.
You mentioned it on the unrecorded podcast that the tones very much were coffee tones of the previous cup, which I liked.
Exactly. Like you knew what you were drinking, like just by looking at it. You know what I mean, though? Like
red and white doesn't scream coffee to me. I don't know.
There could be anything in here.
Literally,
I could have hot chocolate.
You could be double cup and lean in there.
Hey, it could be having some iced tea with a little hand warmer on. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying too. I like dressing up my coffee with the 2 straws and the sleeve. If you do 2 straws and a sleeve, please comment that you do because I think that's a classic.
I'm gonna comment
little
below
thing.
because I do that when I go to Wawa.
Yeah, it's always 2 straws. One just isn't enough for me.
I don't know, 2 straws just makes it stir better too. Like,
No, yeah, it's
and it's a
stronger.
better aesthetic.
Right. No, it does. It makes everything look really good for sure. But yeah, how about you? What's the coffee you're doing
So
or did?
yeah, it did. Yeah, mine's toast as well. I'll clink around my ice.
I honestly can't wait to go back and listen to that now already.
Dude, right?
Just me flinging
Dude,
my
no,
empty
literally,
cup.
literally, go watch yourself when you're like trying to explain what you had. You're like, what? Like, it was so good. And I'm just like, I gotta say it.
Elephant
Dude,
in the room.
At least we didn't finish the whole thing. We
No, for
finished the
sure.
entire thing for my other podcast, and not only that, at the very end, Ryan Smith had like a great ending that we would have had a perfect clip for too.
You know what? That's a nice transition. Tell me your coffee and then tell me that story.
Yeah, I got you. Already getting off on tangents. The coffee that I had today was like I said, saying last week, I wanted to do something a little different. I went for a protein shake. It's Premier Protein coffee flavor. It's 30 grams of protein. I dumped that in over ice, and then actually I brewed 4 ounces of coffee, as strong as it can be, and then I put that over top. It makes it like the coffee protein shake is good on its own. It's a little thick, but like if it's the first thing you're having in the morning, it's a good little way to wake up, break your fast. Then the coffee on top just makes it a lot more like natural coffee flavor, a little more like less thick, if that makes sense.
Dude, you just like blew my mind with what you just said, to be honest, because you said break your fast, and that's breakfast, dude.
Yep.
You're
Did you
breaking.
like
Jeez, man. I feel like I'd known that, but like just hearing it again, just so genuine in the middle of your conversation. That was ridiculous. That was nice.
that. That could
Break
be like
your
that's
fast.
like a what dude's little cousin right there. I just dropped that for free.
Jeez.
I just dropped that for free right there.
That's the little cousin that asks if you have games on your phone.
All right, now let me tell my fuck up story of how I thought I was never going to not hit the record button again.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays or Thursday nights, depending on what our schedule is. Me and a few buddies, Ryan Smith, Chris Strand, Mike Williams, record a podcast called Tap In Podcast, which is about the NBA and this basically trading online website for the NBA. The other night we did a short episode. It was really good, short and sweet. 25 minutes in and out.
Nice.
We get done. I'm looking up at the top. It's the Zoom meeting's about to end because it's only a 40-minute meeting. This one is not, because actually I just realized that it'll say Zoom 40 minutes. It does not say that on this one. So we just get done and I'm about to close out and I don't see pause or stop recording. I see record. Not a good sign when you just finished recording a podcast.
Not good at all.
Now, let me say this. I feel like typically I deal with very stressful situations very well, and this was a prime example of that. I feel like in any situation, people would tend to freak out, especially because other people's were recording or this or the other.
Right.
I don't know. I just closed down and I was like, dude, it was an honest mistake, man.
For sure.
I wasn't sweating it at all. Like, I knew they would understand. I know it sucks for them. It sucks for me, but like, fuck, it happens, man. I can't be stressing over that shit.
No, for sure. And what was the response? I'm sure. And like, how did you go about telling them? Did you just text them afterwards?
No. So actually, it was one of those moments where like there was a very clear divide in my head. We just finished recording, and then I noticed that it wasn't when I close the Zoom meeting, it'll start like processing the video to my computer so I can have it. Didn't notice that this time. Not a good feeling. But then I was like, oh shit, they're still in there. I joined right back and I was like, guys, I'm really sorry to tell you, but I didn't record that. I apologize. And
wow.
And then the horrible part was that the Zoom meeting just ended like 10 seconds after I said that. So I barely got to hear their reaction. Now, of course, I knew that they would understand. And even afterwards, I was like, damn, guys, I'm really sorry, this and the other. And they're like, don't worry about it. Like, it sucks, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm faultless. I'm obviously very at fault, but like I'm the one who records it. No one else is taking the onus to do that. I don't know. Like,
Hey, no, absolutely, man. I mean, you got heavy things on your shoulders.
yeah,
I
man.
mean, you're controlling the whole podcast. Pressing
Yeah,
the record button, it's overlooked. Everyone's like, "Oh, everyone can do that." It's easy to forget.
very easy.
But
That's a
I'm
prime
happy they
example.
exactly. I'm happy they understood. And have you been able to re-record it
So the
since?
funny thing was, like, Chris and I were both kind of ready to record right after that, but I don't know, maybe Mike and Ryan were busy because we just said we'll be back next week.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so it wasn't a huge deal, but it was one of those things where I thought it would be a life lesson where I'd never forget to hit record again. But once we got when the Zoom today, you and I got so cozy with the conversation, man.
It was cozy. Well, and we do this thing where we kind of start potting before we actually start doing it. Like we just kind of
Yeah.
get a little warm up in, and then we're
It's
like,
great,
okay,
actually.
yeah, and then we're eventually like, all right, we just gotta go. We just gotta go.
It's like
Yeah.
batting practice because like you'll be
It is.
I know I love it. You'll be like starting to drop little things from like, ooh, this would be great on the pod. Like,
Dude, we should do this is such a stupid idea, but maybe it's a good idea. We should do an episode where we actually record the pre.
yes, and then clip them all together.
Yeah, and then like we'll just be like, okay, now we're gonna start, and then the theme song goes on. It's kind of like in a sitcom, like where they show a scene and then the
Yeah,
theme song
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it's like the
Do
cold
something like that.
opening.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
That's
thinking.
exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Now, all right, can oh yeah, I already said that. Let me bring up one more thing that we did talk about already.
Yeah, I'm only
So-
gonna bring up a couple of things, I think.
Yeah, but I already feel like we're already back on track in terms of
Yeah.
conversation and stuff. So
No,
I'm
we
not
are.
I'm not sweating it.
Are we a
Um,
train?
Yeah, big time, big time.
Big time.
So recently, last week sometime, my mom questioned me why I've been making weird voices and
Yes.
yelling all the time in my room at very late at night. I then had to explain to her the cast of characters that are in the universe of Fa and all of our friends, and it's insane. It's one of those things where life, you take the people that you work with and the small people that you interact with around your
Yep.
town or whatever, and you almost make a TV show or like a group of characters around them. It's awesome. Like you did that with the place that you used to work at, John's Friendly
Yeah.
Market, aka JFM.
Yep. And you have to. And you know what? I'm gonna add that here. If you have created fake scenarios of your coworkers or friends, please comment down below because they get
Yeah.
out of hand and get out of hand in a fun and I think in a funny way. And the thing about it is like everyone at JFM is familiar with their role in our universe of characters, and it's just fun. And earlier today, me and Tabor were just talking about, how fun it is to make stories about people and how fun it is to just people watch in general and just like make crazy scenarios. Like I was telling Tabor how me and my dad would always go to Wawa. We'd back the truck in and eat and have our coffee and just people watch. And it's so entertaining. Like sometimes nothing happens. People are literally just doing their everyday stuff, going in and out of the store. But then you can like make stories up and be like, that guy got coffee because he's about to commit like the world's biggest heist or something wild. Like it's always so interesting to me, or like I think like when you're on the highway and there's like hundreds of cars, and I always think like, what are these people doing? Like where are they going? Like everyone has a story. Like it's so easy to get caught up in your own because of course you're going to, but everyone has like a story. Like people like are constantly doing things and going
Yes.
places, and I know it sounds so stupid, but it's crazy to think about.
No, I get that thought all the time where I'm like, I'll pass by houses and I'm like, oh, someone's in their room doing their thing. Like just as I would
Exactly.
be in my room doing my thing.
Doing your thing. Exactly. And everyone has a purpose. Everyone's doing stuff. Whether that purpose is going to get coffee at that moment or pulling the world's biggest bank heist, they're doing it.
I like that inspiration can be drawn from like real places like that though. Like you sit there and you just look at people and you can
Mhm.
almost make an entire world based off of one thing. You're just seeing them. Like you're not getting anything more
Exactly.
than that. Like
Right. Well, and it's been proven time and time again that people do enjoy just those like normal, like just like that everyday person. Like, for example, I watched this whole video. I think my hair just came on.
it did.
But
It
is it
happens,
bad?
man. It's fine. Now it's much more quiet. It sounds like it's fine.
Okay.
It's on, but it's fine, dude. Don't even worry about it.
No, right.
If anyone has a problem, I don't know. Just you can comment on this in the down below and tell us how much you hate.
Yeah, please. But I just watched this whole video real quick on Homer Simpson and like the downfall of him, because at his core, like when the Simpsons were first created, Homer Simpson was just supposed to be like an everyday dude, like a good father, hard worker. And then, once, the show is now like the longest running cartoon or whatever, like the whole vision just got completely changed. So now he's just like this idiot. And like people, like there's a lot of hate against him. I've never been a big Simpsons guy, just for the record, but I was just curious about this like video I was watching. And it was just so interesting because like the core of Homer Simpson was just supposed to be a good dad, everyday guy who just goes to work and just has to deal with like the struggles of life pretty much. But then he turned into like this kind of like idiot who people like have trouble rooting for because of like his actions and stuff. And it's like people don't like that. People like just normal people like them who are just like living life and going through everyday things.
I have two things to go off on this. Number one, my first thing is that it's crazy to watch TV. I've been big into TV. I've been kind of kicking around the idea of like not writing something, but like I want to write a little bit and maybe push towards a TV show or something, even if it's just for my own personal thing eventually. Characters, you look at them and look at like The Office and stuff like that. And Homer Simpson, especially, for example, you pointed it out right there. He started as someone who was simple. He was simple and he said funny things every once in a while because he was simple, but he was a good guy. And he was intelligent in a way. Now he's an idiot and he says funny things because he's an idiot.
Right.
It's they completely the character became a caricature of themselves. Like they just became a meme of themselves. Like it became that one little micro bit of Homer that everyone quote unquote craved.
Right. Exactly. And it just gets old quick. And one of the things they brought up was in the earlier seasons, there's a scene of Homer Simpson reading a page in a book, like reading it perfectly. And then one of the newer seasons, he couldn't even read the word gym.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy.
Like it's just
it makes no sense.
It's the writing has become. I'm not trying to call it the Simpsons writers, but like writing with sitcoms like that and TV shows like that, like where the character's going on so long, the character lost itself. The character is no longer itself anymore.
Right. And it's sad. It's sad when that happens. And the people who get the brunt of it are the viewers. Everyone's their favorite show potentially or whatever.
The other thing I was going to say is another example of this is with The Office. You look at The Office, if you've seen all the episodes of The Office or thereabouts. Oh, phone call. Do you have to take that?
F you button. No, I'm good.
Nice. Okay. We could have put a little, you can't hear this up.
No, it's okay. I'll just call back. It's actually my dad.
Oh, nice. Good shit.
Ironically enough, that we were just talking about him. I'll give him a call back.
Nice. Whoa. Is it urgent? You want to take that?
Here. Let me see real quick. Hold on.
Go for it.
2 hours later.
Everything's good.
Good. You never know.
No, I'm happy I took that. I think he called me back because I did end it so quickly. I feel like he thought it probably didn't even go through or something. But I just told him I'll call him back. He said, no, everything's fine. Just want to say hi.
Oh, that's nice. All right. So going back to what I was saying, Kevin, especially if you've seen all the episodes of The Office, Kevin goes from, okay, at one point, Kevin was in the World Series of Poker or whatever, like the qualifiers, I guess.
Yeah.
He was an accountant. Not that he's a great one. Then he makes up a number because he fucking can't do math. Like by the end, he makes up a number. Like this doesn't make any sense for this character. It's just that's a show that's going on for this much time. The characters just lose all touch of themselves.
Exactly. And it's sad. And it, sometimes it's like immediate thing, but most of the time it's like kind of like a slow gradual till all of a sudden you're like, dude, like I don't even like this guy anymore. Like what even happened? And it is sad when that happens, but I mean, it's tough to write a show too. I mean, it's tough to keep people interested because, the same stuff does get boring and sometimes they think things need to change, but sometimes they don't change for the better.
Sometimes they don't.
I do want to touch on my Tuesday a little bit. I just want to bring up
I was about to ask you.
I just want to bring up the two things we already talked about, but
I think
We-
I think we'll be good in all square once this is talked about.
Yep, I think so too, and I could re-laugh over it again, and maybe I'll even make it more dramatic this time. But
So you got time to to figure the beats out.
so anyway, on Tuesday, me and Allie were laying in bed, and we were laying the same way, so I couldn't see her face. All I could see was her back. And I came up with this genius thought of how A and mean the exact same thing, but it's the same letter. There's nothing different about it.
How
You can
genius
say
was this thought?
so genius. Think about that. Like if I said I'm going to a movie or I'm going to a movie, there's no difference in how you write it. You know exactly what I'm talking about either way.
I
And just
wonder
thought it
if
was
it's
genius.
like I wonder if it has to do with the if it's a vowel or a consonant you're about to say. I don't know. I have no idea.
That's a good point.
No idea.
Well, if there's any English majors out there, please let me know.
And now let me
Um,
ask you, Tuesday, can you remind me the date on
The
the
date-
calendar?
The date on Tuesday was 420, and I just put it out on context. Me and Allie had a horrible case of the gigs. We were laughing. We were doing a lot of laughing. But we were having a good time. And anyway, I then came out with that genius thought of A and and I'm waiting for Allie to respond. And there's just nothing. It's just crickets on the other side. And I'm like, oh, maybe she didn't care. Maybe she didn't hear me. But then all of a sudden, you heard the literal and what's the word?
Figurative.
Thank you. Figurative gears in her head slowly start creaking around, and she lets out a oh. A
Is that
huge
all she
oh.
can muster out?
And it creaks out, and as soon as it comes out, she said, that just used all of my brain cells. That's all I could say. Like, that's her best reaction to my stupid thing that I said about A and And, like, you literally could see the gears in your head. And I don't know about you, but I always think about, this is going to sound worse than I mean it, but, like, the people in my head, not, like, that talk, but, like, the people that, like, operate, like, your brain and all. Like, I always
Yeah.
picture them, like, on computers and stuff.
Like
And-
the SpongeBob episode where they're filing
Exactly. Like, or yeah, the fine
fine dining.
fine
and
dining
breathing.
and breathing. Exactly. And it's just so funny because you knew the people in her head were like, we got to put out something. We got it here. Just grab whatever. and like
We
they're like
gotta
trying
put out something.
They're like trying to like unstick the gears and we got it. Oh. So
was great.
good. So
That
good.
was great.
But it was a great time, and then and then pretty much I was just saying how we went to Applebee's that day.
Oh, geez, I actually must have been where we kind of like stopped talking, or the
Yeah.
just after this is where I realized.
Yeah, no, we're doing great. And yeah, we went to Applebee's, and like we just had the worst service ever. And I was just telling Tabor, like I never go to a place and like I'm never a guy to like review like bad or anything.
Let me ask you something. What?
Yeah.
If he liked a football team, what team would your server have like?
Well, it's funny you asked that, Tabor. He was actually wearing a Philadelphia Eagles mask. So I was really excited, and I was like, you know what, man, this guy's gonna be super sick. Like he's gonna be so chill. We'll be able to just talk. No, not that. And like I was saying, when I go to a restaurant, I require the bare minimum. Say, welcome to Chili's. This is your menu. Do you need a minute? Here you go. Are you good? Done. Easy. This guy didn't even do that. He didn't even come up to our table. He was giving us thumbs up from literally from across the restaurant. He was so rude. When we first sat down, he said, okay, I'll be back in an hour. And there was two very nice women sitting across from us, and they said, don't worry, he's just kidding. He's just an asshole. And we were like, what the hell? Food was terrible. Drinks were terrible. All of it was terrible. And pretty much just what I was telling Tabor was how much I just can't stand customer service or dealing with like, even in like a food scenario, like waiters and stuff. Like I understand that one though, because they're kind of like a part of your night, like in a way. And you were a server, so I'm sure you get that too. But like just like mostly customer service when it comes to like being at the cashier, oh, it just grinds my gears, man. I hate just like the awkwardness and just like, you know, you got to put your chip in and, you know, that takes forever now. Like at least it seems like forever when you're just waiting, like you're like looking around.
Well,
and
especially
there's
at Wawa when you got like you got your stuff ready and you're just
Yep.
sitting there waiting for it to go, and the person's like on your ass behind you.
Yep. Oh my dude, Wawa people are awful. At
Vicious.
that.
It's like you're
Vicious.
trying to get your change still, and they're like putting their shit down already right on you. It's so
Yes.
annoying.
I know. And you know, if you've ever been to a Wawa, the counters aren't big. They have
No.
small, especially now that they have like the glass, you know, like
Yeah.
covering them. Like there's even less room. Yeah, it's terrible. But I can't stand it. And like I was saying, I used to love those interactions. Like, hey, how are you? Doing good, blah, blah, blah. But like now I'm just like, dude, just give me my stuff and let me leave. Was that evil?
That was great. Now let me just say this: that now that
Yeah.
I've had a little time to think about this, this is the second time we've been talking about this.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about customer service really is that, well, when I'm at least when I'm like serving or doing any type of work where I'm in customer service, of course, most recently, and now I'm a bartender. I personally just love giving the service that if I was out, I would be receiving. I'm not
Right.
going to try to be up your ass, but I'm going to be nice and I'm going to do everything
Exactly.
you need in a timely manner. And especially, I'm super duper good, and I'm willing to compliment myself on this because I feel like I'm so good at it. Is able to read a table and be like,
Yep.
oh, you want me to be like here?
Yeah.
If you want me to be here, I will be here. And if you want me to never come over to your table, I won't come over to your table.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned the thumbs up thing, I'll do that to tables that don't want me to come over, because I'll just give them a point and be like, oh, you guys are good.
Like, yeah,
cool.
right.
Well, like you guys didn't indicate that. Like,
No.
like no,
Well,
like,
right. And the fact that there's other tables complaining about him, and he was just he didn't even say anything when he'd come up to us. Like when he dropped off our food, he didn't even tell us like the plates were hot or anything. Like mine
that's
was
a
like
terrible server.
which like, yeah, of course you can kind of assume they're gonna be hot. But like when I like grabbed my plate to like pull it closer to me, I was like, oh my God, like it like burned me. And like, you know, normally waiters just like, hey, just let it chill for a minute. Like it's just like literally just came out or whatever. But there's nothing. And real quick to your point, like you were saying, like how you can read a table. I feel like I feel like I have this ability to not only just read a table or read people in a setting like that, but just in life in general. Like just reading vibes of people, and like if you're at like a party and you're like, the vibes here just aren't having it for me. I think I need to get out. But
Yeah, man.
do you feel like you have that power as well? to
Oh,
kinda read that?
absolutely. I feel like actually I'm willing to drop this on pod. A couple years ago, actually, I took shrooms for the first time, and I
Mhm.
kind of actually felt like then it changed the way in which I perceive a lot of emotion
Yeah.
to other people. Like I feel like I'm more considerate and aware of people in not only in my surroundings, in like just general life, but like the emotions that they go through and how they're feeling. Like you have to be considerate to others. Like
For sure.
as much as you want your feelings to be on the forefront, there's also a lot to other things to consider.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you know, reading vibes and stuff is a powerful thing. Some people think it's like stupid, I guess, or just like it's like fake in a way. Not fake, but maybe just they just don't like see it the same way. But you know who's actually really good at reading vibes too, and that's why I talk to him a lot, is Zack Schubert.
Really?
He's actually very intuitive, like with like how like people are like kind of feeling like without them saying how they're feeling,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And like you can read that just like from body language, you know,
Mhm.
like people don't even need to talk, and you can be like, okay, like they're not in a good mood or they're in a great mood, you know. It's
Yeah.
like it is crazy. I always think about that stuff. It's interesting.
I feel like I have a good gut feeling on most people.
I agree.
Like if I'm not trying to say every time I'm right, but if I feel like if I have a bad gut feeling, it's probably for a reason. Like I'm
Yeah.
probably getting that for a reason.
And you got to read that stuff. And it's easy for people to say, well, you just got to listen to your gut. Sometimes it's hard. Like you got to be in like a certain like place, like mentally, to be able to really like listen to your gut like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I
No,
mean?
you're totally right.
Like you got to be experienced.
Yeah, and you have to
Wow,
be
where did Brett come from?
you have to be willing to admit that your brain is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You do. You do. Um,
I have something, unless you were gonna transition to something.
I had a couple things to say, but I would love to hear what you need to say.
So here's what I'm gonna go into. Recently, on YouTube, I have like the live stream. Like there's obviously live streams on YouTube as well. I clicked on a live stream. So I click on this car chase. It was like a very classic style car chase. very much in like the OJ, like this dude's on the fucking freeway, just driving. The cops are behind him.
This is
Just
real,
waiting.
or
This is real. This is like a couple days ago. I was sitting in bed. I was like about to put on something to like kind of fall asleep to or take a nap to or whatever. And I'm like looking through YouTube, probably to go watch a video or two before I like actually nap. And I see live car chase in California. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll tune in. I tune in. It's pretty cool. I mean, just in the sense of like, I don't mean to glorify this, but like, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's a fucking guy
it's crazy
being chased by the police. It's insane stuff. Like,
yeah.
so I'm watching that. Dude's on the highway, nothing crazy. Then he gets off. Let me tell you, this is one of the weirdest car chase I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, if you're in a car chase, Keith, you're probably not really giving a fuck about anyone else, right?
Right.
This guy is driving around he gets off the highway. Cops are still chasing him. He heats on. This guy's only being pulled over for a DUI. I'm sure he has more or whatever.
Right.
Gets off the highway. He gets to the first traffic intersection. He stops at the red light.
What?
He stops at the red light. Then he makes the left when it turns green. Then he gets to the next intersection, stops at the red light. It was the craziest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
What a good guy.
What a good guy. So this is going on for an hour and a half. And I actually tuned in around like an hour and 20 minutes. And it ended up finishing around an hour 45 or so. I don't know if he ran out of gas or whatever, but he was just on surface streets, like on not running red lights. He kept stopping and stuff. So they're driving down. I don't know if you know the maneuver to take out cars when you're a police officer, but it's called a pit maneuver. So essentially what they'll just hit the back and it'll lock the engine. Essentially the engine won't be able, most engines won't be able to continue at that time, or you'd have to like stop and restart and the cops can get you at that time.
Right.
This guy gets pit maneuvered. Police do a great job. It literally, the car didn't touch a thing. The only thing it fucked up was a little grass. Like the grass probably had like skid marks on it. They take out the car. The car's done. The guy starts to get out. He has his hands slightly up. So he's not fully compliant, but he's like got his hands up.
Yeah.
He gets out his car. He walks around to the back of the car. He looks at the damage the police officers did, and you see him give like a what the fuck? This was the funniest guy that I've ever seen in my entire life, man.
Dude, that sounds and that's so cool that you just stumbled upon that.
Literally,
like you didn't go looking for a car chase.
No,
you just happened to run across it.
And it was the most interesting one possible. What just happened?
It's pouring outside.
Really?
It's crazy because when we first recorded the pod, it was like a beautiful day, and now the second time around, it's pouring, which is fine. I love the rainy aesthetic, so I'm fine with it. But it's just so interesting that happened.
I'd rather it be rainy and recording than sunny and not.
No, you're right. Dude, that is insane. And speaking of YouTube, right before we did start recording, on Friday, me and Tabor did the morale zone, and we had a lot to drink. We got a little dunzo. But one of the conversations we did have was, what was our favorite Lil Dickie freestyle? So, and I don't know if there's anyone who likes Lil Dickie out there, but if you do, you probably know his freestyles are usually baller. And he has two great ones, and he did one at Sway, and he did one on Tim Westwood. And Tabor asked me which one was my favorite, and I couldn't give him an answer. So this morning, I listened to both of them, and to be honest, it's still hard. It's still tough to decide. They're so good in so different ways. Before going in, if you asked me, I would have leaned Tim Westwood only because of the nostalgia factor.
It was the first one you saw and you loved it.
And it's good. I mean, it's still good.
My wife out in London, Noi.
Yeah, right. It has Noi, it has the Rick Ross line. The Lakers.
I love his shirt. His shirt it's a polo of Mighty Ducks jerseys.
Yeah,
a bunch of Mighty Ducks jerseys.
Just a bunch of them. No, exactly. And then the Sway one's newer, but that. I almost got to say the Sway one though. Like he absolutely murders it. He brings flowers for one of the hosts. He
Tracy, I bought you flowers.
He has the ESPN line in that one. That was good. There's a couple lines that when I listened today, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize he said that. Like
there's one line, I think I might have mentioned it on Friday, where it's like he says like it's an aged like milk line, but it's something that Carson Wentz throwing the ball down the sideline to Deshaun to
Yes.
Deshaun Jackson. Yeah. It's a great line. Like, it's just that neither of those two players play for the team anymore.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. Deshaun Jackson is my favorite football player and always will be.
Do you remember that you were at my house for the Miracle in Meadowlands 2 when they returned that punt?
No,
I think it was you, me, and Macalusa were at my house.
See, I thought I was at my house for that. Maybe.
I swear, if it wasn't you, it was Macaluso and Kraus or something. But I swear it was you.
Dude, that's insane.
Maybe I got it mixed up. Maybe you were playing it at home, following it up.
I could have been. I don't remember, but I do remember that like ending drive was probably the best thing I've ever seen in my life. One of the best things, not the best, because the Super Bowl was nice too.
Oh yeah, nice. Man. You got anything? I got a couple more, but you want to bring anything up here?
I just wanted to give an update on Lenny the Lime Tree. Dude, Lenny's killing it, yo. It's funny, actually. We went out yesterday to buy him a bigger pot. We ended up coming home with not a pot, but like a bunch of just random things that we bought instead. So he's still in his same original pot that he came in, but we will be getting another one soon. Maybe potentially today if it's not raining all day. But dude, he has flowers growing on him. Like, he has these little white buds and they're like blooming. Like, they're blooming all over.
Yeah. I think you mentioned them last week.
Yeah. Last week they were just the buds, but like now they're actually like blooming.
Oh, nice, man. Dude, a week flies by in plant time.
Plant time is insane. So he's doing great, dude. He's killing it. The flowers looking good. No limes yet, but I sense there's some coming soon. So we'll definitely keep you updated. In other plant news, real quick, Allie actually just recently bought flowers.
Really? What'd she buy?
She bought flowers actually for me.
That's sweet.
They were like red roses and like yellow. They're over here. I'm looking at them. Like maybe like yellow, like I don't want to say daisies, but like just like yellow, like sunflower kind of looking.
Yeah.
Well, it's sad and funny at the same time. She saw a TikTok earlier in the day that guys will never get flowers in their life until it's their funeral, which is sad, but it's kind of crazy to think about. So, I wasn't having a bad week last week, but it was just like I was telling you earlier, it was just like a week of inconveniences, really.
Yeah.
And Allie just felt, kind of was feeling bad. So she bought me flowers, and she bought me, I was showing you this on Friday, a brand new controller to stream with, Legend of Zelda controller.
Dude,
because my controller's been having issues, as you know, every time we try to play. So it was really, really nice of APL 11. Shout out Allie Hall. I'm sure she'll be listening hopefully Tuesday or tomorrow when it comes out.
That's a great girlfriend, man. I'm glad to hear that she picks you up. Like, hey, that's any great relationship. You got to pick each other up when things are going down. Not that things were going down for you, but like you see someone. Oh, the inconveniences add up this week. Let me get you some flowers, and that's nice, man.
It was super nice. I've never gotten flowers before, so it was cool.
So then now the next time you get it will be your funeral or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, dude, Lenny's doing good. We got flowers, and the bamboo plant, he's still thriving too. So lots of life in the house currently.
Love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Dude, I've here's my last thing that I'll bring up, unless you have anything else. Oh wait, shit. I was supposed to have a.
What did you say?
Oh, dude.
What, dude?
So.
Do you have one?
I do indeed. So the thing I wanted to bring up for my what dude for the week, I don't know, I don't think you've actually ever seen it, but
what, dude?
The show The Sopranos, probably one of the most legendary shows of all time.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, but I am familiar with it.
This is going to be my what dude. I guess it's a little off the wall because I wasn't really prepared, so I just kind of thought of something, and I was watching The Sopranos last night. Okay. There is this great scene, and essentially two of the mob guys get lost in the woods, and the boss Tony has to go find them. So he gets this guy to help him. His name's Bobby. Bobby is very large, probably like 350 pounds.
Jeez.
He's a very big guy.
Right.
So before they're about to go out, like he wants to put on like reflective gear or like camo or whatever, just so he could be warm and comfortable and be seen.
Right.
So Tony is standing in the kitchen waiting for him to come down or whatever and be ready. This guy, so in a way to invoke a genuine reaction out of the actual actor that plays Tony, they had the guy coming down in the camo or whatever in the reflective gear. They had him wearing a vest of dildos to make the actor crack up.
Oh my god!
And when you watch the scene, James Gandolfini, who plays Tony, he cracks up. It's such a genuine laugh too, and it's such an interesting way to invoke it, to not have him know and just have him come down in a fucking vest of dildos.
That's amazing, and they got exactly what they needed.
Exactly.
And how did you learn this? You looked it up,
actually, no, my dad actually told me. I think I might have heard it before, but he reminded me of it, and that was ringing around in my head still. So that's my what?
Dude, shout out Stan. Shout out Stan Favorite. He's a good guy. I hope he listens to the podcast, don't he?
I don't know if he does. I don't think he does.
Well, you should start.
Yeah, right. What else you got? You got anything, Ryan?
The only other thing I really wanted to hit on that I thought was funny from Friday was how you and me both equally thought we talked way too much on the podcast.
Right.
I thought that was
Isn't
so
that
funny. Because me and Tabor were talking on Friday, and I was saying to him, like, dude, man, sometimes I listen back, and I just feel like I won't shut up, and it's awful. I need to change that. And Tabor went, no, dude, I talk too much last time. So it's a nice dynamic. I feel like, in the end, we both talk too much, but it equals to just a regular amount of talking.
Yeah, I wish I wish we had a recorder of who's talking about. I'm willing to bet it's within like a couple minutes of wearing of each other.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
I would agree.
100%.
I would agree. For sure. But yeah, dude, that was pretty much it. It was nice doing 2 podcasts with you today.
Yeah, man.
I think that was everything that was pretty much going on this week. Looks like it's gonna be a rainy day, so it looks like Lenny's gonna be getting a lot of water.
Love it, man.
Yep.
All right, is that it? Nothing else?
I think so. I was thinking if we missed anything from the first time around, but I think we did pretty good.
I think we did really good considering we had to talk about all the same things again, practically.
It was funny. I think this turned out actually really funny. I think
it turned out great, man.
I'm happy. I'm happy what happened for sure.
Oh yeah, man. All right, well, we're gonna call it there. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Thanks to everyone that's been listening. I've been really impressed. Just honestly, how much people have been listening. It really makes me happy. So please feel free to share us anywhere. Instagram, Twitter, this, that, the other. We just made an Instagram. If you didn't already follow it, it is at JaFaPod. Kept it simple.
You just reminded me of something, actually.
Go for it. No, go for it.
To end us off, on TikTok, I think I was telling you this on Friday. I posted a video of the John Pa Pod, the and Fa Pod.
I'm going to use that as the intro. I feel like that should be used as the intro. It's so clean.
What?
The video you posted.
Oh, the video. Oh,
yeah.
Can. I had no idea what you're talking about, but yes. So yeah, dude, I was telling Tabor this on Friday on TikTok. I added the Ja and Fa Pod onto my bio, of course, naturally. And I added it, and then I went back on TikTok later that day, and it said no bio added. And I was like, what the? This is terrible. Like I must have just clicked delete by accident or something, I figured. So I went back and I added everything back, and it said your bio is disabled and you are unallowed to add a bio at this time due to bad content. Please recheck in like 24 hours. So for whatever reason, the John Fa Pod got what's
flagged?
the word? Flagged. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, it got flagged. I don't know, like maybe because it wasn't like real words, so they were like, "Oh, like what's he trying to say?" But TikTok, if you're out there, it's just the John Fa Pod.
Chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So right now I don't have a bio on TikTok because I'm not allowed.
Jesus, they got you, man.
They got me. The John Fa Pod, man. Don't let your kids listen.
That's how we have to end, man. Thanks for listening, everybody. Another great episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Real.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Peace.